What's good, everybody? Welcome to another broadcast here for Fast Break here for iTunes Radio. You're the week forward sports, and trying to get D-Locke back on. But on tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen, while he's getting set back up, we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs action as we speak right now with Philly and Boston going at it right now with Joel Embiid's return. Plus, can the Lakers sweep the Houston Rockets tonight? And D-Locke, do you think Kevin Durant's checked out in Houston?
From what I'm seeing, it seems like he possibly could be, especially when them down 3-0 and now he's not playing another game. It's going to be kind of interesting to see how this plays out.
So that game's coming after the Philly and Boston game. The Spurs up 3-1 against the Blazers. The Raptors, Cavs are tied 2-2. The Phoenix has a chance against OKC down 3-0. Much to be discussed tonight, but this is Fast Break here for iTunes Radio. You're ready for always sports, and we catch you on the other side.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. iSports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
And welcome in tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to another broadcast here for Fast Break here live for iSports Radio. You're the week forward sports. D-Locke, how you doing this Sunday evening here with us? At the end of April already.
Yeah, time is flying, man. I mean, I think, May is coming up, summertime definitely. Seasons and a lot of sports is going down, obviously. We did, obviously, the NFL draft just passed by here in Pittsburgh, which is, I'm pretty sure it's pretty interesting. But I'm doing well, man. My Magic are up 2-1 against the Pistons. Bankero had a hell of a game on his last game, so things looking pretty good. Lakers are looking like they're trying to move on to the next round, so things are looking up right now.
Yeah, so a lot of things looking up. Very busy weekend in sports.
Mm-hmm.
NFL draft, the new class of NFL players coming into the NFL, the NBA playoffs is going on, the NHL playoffs is going on,
Right.
baseball's in full swing, and then the big news out of baseball. I don't know if you saw this or not, but the Boston Red Sox, they fired a whole bunch of coaches. They
I
fired
seen that.
everybody. Like, damn.
Yeah, they not wasting no time. I definitely seen that.
This is after they beat the Orioles. It was like, damn, they just clean house to everybody. Whatnot. I don't know who's going to be the interim manager. I'm like, damn, who's going to be left to take over for the rest of the year?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of big news in the world of sports. Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini there's still tidbits of that still coming out day by day, and this is not going away anytime soon. But what's not going away anytime soon, D-Locke? The NBA playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, this playoffs has been entertaining, talked about, legacies are being made, stories are being written. And we're going to talk about this game right now as it's going on live right now. The Celtics Celtics versus 76ers talk on EBC or Peacock if you choose to do the internet. Right now, the Celtics are up 56-38 at halftime. So perfect time to talk about this game. Joel Embiid is back in the fold of things tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So he's back in the fold of things. So far, he has 12 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 17 minutes of action thus far. But I think the big story right now in this game is Peyton Pritchard off the bench, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 50% for 3, lead away for Boston. And they're kind of clicking on all cylinders. 11 for 28 for 3-point land for them. Jason Tatum 0 for 5 for 3-point land thus far. So Boston looking good despite Joel Embiid returning. Your thoughts on this game thus far in your eyes?
I think, in my opinion, Boston, came out and they shown who's the better team. They came on attack mode as soon as the game started. Obviously Peyton Pritchard is having one of those games where he's dominating. Now, yes, Embiid is back, but I think him missing some time. I don't think his wind is there yet. It's probably a bit out of shape, but we talk about this a lot of time with the 76ers as far as what they're going to do with Embiid. But right now, man, I'm looking at it. The Celtics they're clicking on all cylinders right now. And it's not even points wise, like Peyton Pritchard's actually leading them in scoring right now. And everybody else is in single digits, but offensively, they're looking a hell of a lot better. Overall, everybody's chipping in and getting their points. Tatum with 4 assists. He's doing pretty well. Then obviously you got Vooch, who they traded for. He's playing extremely well too off the bench. He's playing a big role with them. So right now this team is coming out, letting it be known that they're the better team. But not only that, the Sixers are not playing their best game either. I think that's a big thing too. Right now, looking at it, Embiid is 3 for 10. Paul George, playoff P, as we know, has shown up, 2 for 7. To be honest, I don't know where the hell Kelly Oubre had been this whole series. I haven't seen too much about him at all. I know I did see he was questionable earlier, but he hasn't done too much in this series. The two that we talked about last time that led the way for them to get that win was Max and Edgecombe, and right now they're ice cold right now also. So I want to see how the second half goes. I also do see that Quentin Grimes has got a bump up in minutes a little bit this game. Trying to get him a little bit more involved and see how that plays. But I think that the Celtics are going to take this win right now up by 18. And these guys are going to get in. Tatum's going to shoot better. He's 1 for 8 right now. That's not going to last this whole game. I think he's going to catch fire. So for me, I think Boston is showing overall they're the better team on both offense and defense. right now we got to see how, like I said, Embiid right now taking shots, but he's in a sense not really helping anything right now. So to me, I just think the Celtics are showing that they're the better team. And I definitely see Boston going up 3-1.
You know, when I saw very late before we did the show that Joel was going to play. Well, I was sitting there watching the warm-ups and pregame stuff like that. I said he was sitting there warming up. I was like, okay, maybe get shots in, maybe be back game 5, whatever. But no, they say he's going to play. So I thought, okay, you got an advantage with him in the game down low for the most part. But I think, while we alluded to for the interlude before we did the show, Peyton Pritchard woke the hell up.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting your best shooting for Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, probably in the same boat, but Pritchard has kind of did his thing thus far and kind of put that gap right now for Boston to have this damn near 20-point lead to go into half. And if you're Nick Nurse, Philly, you got to figure out something to kind of slow him down and then kind of get your other guys going right now. If I'm looking at things right now, let's see. Going back to the box score real quick. Maxey really hasn't shot the ball much. Edgecombe, 0 for 3 for three-point land, 1 for 5 from the field. Oubre, like you mentioned, 0 for 5, 0 for 2. Paul George, 2 for 7. So nobody else really contributing except for like Quentin Grimes got 5 points off the bench. Barlow's not doing much. Edwards not doing much. Drummond seemed like he got hurt very quickly in to the game. So his status is up the air. So after that, what we got here?
Mm-hmm.
Your 2 young guards, Maxey and Edgecombe, they got to wake up in the second half. They got locked down defensively to contain Peyton Pritchard best they can. And your 2 young guys got to wake up, especially Edgecombe. Because game 3 was not his best outing.
No, not at all.
And he took some shots that I was like, God. Sometimes you got to remember, he's still a rookie.
Yeah, this is true.
He's still a rookie. So, great hit, first team, all rookie, all that stuff. But, man, it's like, damn, dude. You got to shape up a little bit better than that.
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is, the past couple of games before that, he has cooked very well. I mean, the game that they won, I believe he had 30 points. So, him and Maxey, as we know, I think are the 2 that's going to lead this team. We know how Paul George can be. Obviously we see the situation with Joel Embiid. He's in, he's out. So to me, I told you, like I said, Kelly Oubre, we haven't seen him at all really that much this series. So Maxey and Edgecombe are the guys that are going to have to lead this team. And if those 2 guys are not clicking, I don't think the Sixers have a chance. Now, another person that hasn't really done anything too much this series that much is Derek White. So if he hasn't got hot yet either. So we're talking about Peyton Pritchard, who's woken up. Well, when Derek White actually gets clicking too, this team is gonna. I think this is where we can see the Celtics kind of pull away. But at this point, this game is what it's in Philly also. You think having him be back, these guys will be able to have a better outing that they're having. And right now, they're just not looking good. I think Embiid, in my opinion, I think bring him back. I think they should have scaled back on some of his minutes early. He hasn't been playing that much. Obviously, a 2-1 lead for the Celtics. So you're not in danger, I guess, of losing the full series. But I think you should work Joel Embiid in, especially when we know what he got going on. Because right now, yes, he has 12 points, but right now 3 for 10 is not helping at all. I think you got to get these other guys involved and let Maxey and Edgecombe continue to lead the way with this group. But with them shooting how they're shooting right now, is definitely not looking good. And to be honest, I don't know if it's just maybe it can't be just the 76ers because hell, I was watching the Toronto and Cleveland game, and I think both teams had like 40 points going into halftime. So just terrible shooting overall. You know what I mean? Throughout the day for a lot of these teams right now. So obviously now they're deeper in the series. These teams are making their adjustments. They know their competition. They know the team. They played them, a few times, so they know what to expect. But Edgecombe has to get going, and so does Maxey for this team to have any type of chance.
Before we move on, your prediction for the second half of this game?
To be honest with you, I think the Celtics go up by 25, 30. And they pull some of these guys in the fourth quarter. I just because right now looking at it, the Sixers, if Edgecombe wakes up, okay, cool. If Tyrese Maxey wakes up, fine. I think it helps. But with Embiid getting involved, I don't see Maxey and Edgecombe getting in that rhythm, being the fact they're going to try to feed Embiid a little bit more. And another reason why I think it'd be blowout is because I think the Celtics, Jason Tatum is not going to go 1 for 8 the second half. I just don't see that. I think he's going to shoot a hell of a lot better. Also, Jaylen Brown. So I think the Celtics take a huge lead and go up 3-1.
Going to the chat real quick. I got Zenaz4697 says Celtics going to take the series, but you got a breaking heart emoji. So I assume Mr. 4697 is a Philly fan. I assume so.
Mm-hmm.
You get the little heart emoji right there. For me, we'll come out in and out this game and whatnot in the second half. This is before the Laker game, which I think everybody's gonna be tuning into tonight. Like I mentioned, you got this man back tonight, Joel Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's come back, scored pretty well, and played pretty strong in his first game back in a while. So I mean, you can't really hate on him because he's playing well, and you figure him coming back, it would kind of alleviate the pressure of the other guys. But so far, that's not been the case. They're showing the highlights and stuff like that. Guys like Oubre running the break, feeding the ball and stuff like that. But, those guys like Oubre, Quentin Grimes, all that, they got to score the ball. Like going back to game 3 for a little bit. At times Oubre missed some easy buckets around the rim last game against Boston, which I think really kind of the mistakes, missed baskets in game 3 kind of really did themselves in, which was a winnable game for Philly.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm looking right now at my TV, the third quarter is about to start. Everybody kind of look chill for the Sixers. They're showing Maxey right now. They're showing Edgecombe. Like everybody looks chill right now, but you got to come out these next 4 minutes. Kind of what Bruce Pearl said in the NCAA tournament. Like, okay, come out the next second half. This first 4 minutes will determine how things going to shape out for the rest, of the quarter here. So we'll see in 4 minutes right now, and I think Maxey just hit a 3-pointer, I believe.
They need that.
So I guess they didn't put the points up yet. So like I said, got a shot off. Maxey made a shot, but then Jason Tatum just got a foul on Paul George and is going to the free throw line right now. So, or Oubre, excuse me, with his Harley Quinn hairstyle. But anyways, so Maxey came out strong, and then next you know, turn around, Jason Tatum, who not shot the ball very well, goes down, posts up, Kelly Oubre, and shoot the fadeaway for a chance at the
Free throw line.
in which he completes it with the free throw shot. So Boston's up 59-41 on the Celtics right now, and we'll come out in and out of this game throughout the show. D-Lock, they have a big game tonight. The Los Angeles Lakers versus the Houston Rockets. How can I sum up this series? It's like with these two teams, is how they started and how they finished the season. If that can make sense.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, when we did our season preview series, myself, I had the Rockets going to the Western Conference Finals. Reason some of y'all probably saying, well, damn, how are you coming to that conclusion? Good question. This is before Fred VanVleet tore his ACL. Durant, yes, even though he's around my age, he's still a 25-point scorer per game.
Mm-hmm.
Amin Thompson as a young player in the rise. Sogoon, same thing. Dorian Smith was a good signing at that time to bring in. You know, Tari Eason, good role player. You know, they had Steven Adams, a quick compeller, down low as well. So, I mean, and Ime Yukata, a good headstrong coach. So you just put all those pieces together, you're probably going to do some things.
Yeah.
But D-Lock, as the season went along, and you kind of seen the cracks in the armor of the Rockets, VanVleet went out, and then even the front office didn't want to make a move and put Ime Okada in a tough spot. And Ime had the bright idea to put Amin Thompson as kind of like the point forward for the majority of the year, in which we saw it's been a very mixed bag, to say the least. And then on the other side of things, you know, they had a fine season, you know, but they ended up the 4th, 5th seed. On the other side of things, D-Lock, the Lakers started off pretty strong, but you had star players in and out the lineup for early part of the year. They didn't play much together all year. But, you know, I think that kind of about the Lakers, they always going to make change if things don't go right. They bring in guys like Luke Kennard. They got Gabe Vincent out of there.
Did.
And kind of really shake things up for them and kind of change up things. And like finally the role player they've been looking for the past couple of years. And now, with all these changes, the Lakers recognizing weaknesses and stuff like that, you got two different teams with two different mindsets in Houston, Game 4. And D-Lock, do the Lakers finish the job tonight, or does Houston got one more gasp in them?
I mean, if the Lakers were fully healthy, I think it would be a sweep. I think if KD was playing, it would be easy for me to say, yeah, I think they got another chance or they got more time. I don't think they would be down 3-0, in my opinion, if he played all 3 games. But to me, I'm going to say that I say that they're going to get a win.
Ooh.
Even without KD, I think this team, they have a solid group of guys. I think Amin Thompson and Sengun can lead the charge with this, but they're going to need guys like Reed Shepherd, Tari Eason. They're going to need those guys to come around and step up. You ain't got Finney Smith. You ain't got Clint Capella. You're going to have to use these guys. A Koji. These guys are going to have to step up to make some type of push around the Lakers. Because right now I think that the Lakers are talented, but missing, two key players, you are asking a lot of those role players to do a lot. And I think they can. I just think that a sweep right now with the team that they have, I probably don't. I don't believe they will do that. I think that the Rockets, I think Amen Thompson's going to have a game. Sengun, and like I said, somebody off that bench is going to have to step up big time. Right now, obviously, KD not playing. I can see Tari Eason kind of having a pretty solid game. Another reason too is LeBron has been playing outstanding this whole series. I think there was on Twitter, on X, they had a tweet that showed his stats when he's going for a sweep on that fourth game, and he's like 28 points per game, maybe like six rebounds, and like 7 assists per game. So he plays pretty well when it's coming to sweeping teams. But I just think that the LeBron that we see is, what is he, 41?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this is not the 25-year-old LeBron. I think at some point he's still gonna have a pretty solid game. I just think that now, with everything on the line, the Rockets are gonna come with it to be much more aggressive, and I think they get at least one win. But I do think the Lakers are definitely gonna come with it. Now, for them to sweep, I think it's not gonna take LeBron having a great game. It's gonna take those role players. DeAndre Ayton is going to have a good game. Hachimura is going to have a good game. But all in all, I think the Rockets see what's on the table. Hell, they almost got the game the last game. It's just a few things here and there just didn't help. Especially, for LeBron to get that steal and pop it through at the end, that's that vintage LeBron. You know what I mean? So that happened, and obviously go to overtime, and you got an opportunity to win regardless. But I think that this team is going to be – I think the Rockets are going to definitely come more aggressive. They're going to be efficient tonight.
Let me ask you this. You called a post-game said basically what happened, what you just brought up about the last 32 seconds of that game was dumb by his players. Do you think those comments will affect those guys tonight in the matchup against the Lakers trying to avoid a sweep?
At this point, I would hope not. Clearly, because they literally this is it. You know what I mean? I think there's more going on in that franchise that we know. Because for KD not to play on this game here, knowing what's at stake makes me, raise my eyebrows. You know what I mean? That kind of makes me wonder, like you said, is he checked out? So what is really going on in that franchise? Maybe we hear more in the off season, but I think those comments rightfully said, he had the reason to say it, but if I think they should have heard that, I'm pretty sure that's something he probably should have told them in the locker room also. But now, hey guys, that was some stupid stuff we did at the end of this game, but we got this next one. We got to move on, right? That's one thing about sports. And a lot of sports is you have to have a short-term memory, right? Now, reporters, as we know, they need something to report. They need something that's going to be at the top of the line. So if you say something, they're going to use it and they're going to blow it up. Now, he said what he said, for the reporters and for fans to know, but those guys in the locker room needs to go ahead and eat that and know, okay, hey, we lost when we had that one. We lost. We got to come back and be smarter on this game 4, because if not, that'll be the end of the season. And to be honest, I think, obviously we'll talk about it come off season, but if these guys get swept, do we see Kevin Durant get moved again? It's so many questions that we'll have to ask and see, because to me, for him to not play this game, knowing what's at stake. There's something back there, and that's going to be a question that's asked if they do get swept. What happens in the offseason?
Man, I know Sengun had 30+ points, last game, but just like it 30+ points, but you're a big man, but it didn't really affect the Lakers like that, like it should.
Mm-hmm.
And late in that game and stuff like that, and how if y'all watch Sengun play a bunch, he brings the ball low all the time, and at one point, LeBron, Jackson Hayes, and all those guys, you grab low, you stay low with them. When he dribbles and stuff like that and spins, he always bring the ball down. If you can catch it at the right time, tie it up, you can neutralize him. And they kind of did that towards the end of the game. And the steal, the Marcus Smart steal and whatnot, that's like, I would hate to say lack of point guard, but that's just kind of bad basketball by the Rockets.
Yep.
And this is why not having a true guard in that group really hurts them. Put Holiday in the game. He's been around enough to kind of, put him in the game to help derail that type of situation. And that turnover, you kind of depending on Thompson, Sengun, and Reed Shepherd to bring up the ball at that point. You can't do that. I saw, kind of go back in this, they show clips and stuff like that. Some people kind of neutralize if you saw on Twitter/X, they kind of neutralize Reed Shepherd's play in game 3. Like how small he is to the other, like playing against the Lakers or whatnot. Like, damn.
Yeah.
And how they, I won't say bullying him, but it's just like making his life a living hell.
Mm-hmm.
So, Marcus Smart like a 6'3", 6'4" guard, combo guard.
Yeah.
Luke Kennard, 6'6". LeBron, he's 6'8", 6'9", depending what day y'all want, how you want to use. And then, DeAndre, 7'1". Rui's 6'8". And then hell, when you get Luke and Austin back, that's 6'7", 6'5" right there. Jared Vanderbilt, he's 6'8", but more of a defensive dude. So, like, they kind of match up evenly, but it's just like, I think one thing it came down to is like experience and coaching and roster construction. Because Marcus Smart shouldn't have stole the ball like that and drawn a foul on you to cut the lead to 3, and then create another turnover, and then LeBron pump fake, you flying this way, makes your shot, and then you go into overtime, and then boom, the Lakers will win the game in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
That should not happen.
At home.
That should not happen at all. So, do I think the Rockets can win a game tonight? Sure. Could Reed Shepherd have a 20+ point game? Same as Peyton Pritchard's doing right now for the Celtics on his way to? Sure. Can Ben Thompson have a big time game? Sure. But I don't see it, D-Lock. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. And while I saw in the video post-game locker room, JJ Redick, he took accountability, but he also said, hey, let's come back Sunday and end this series. We got to finish the job. No Kevin Durant. They got no real point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Let's end this series. You mean you called up probably calling them bitches all day today? Let's take advantage of that. So I got the Lakers fans a job. And kind of finishing job, and hopefully Phoenix can eke out a win against OKC to kind of extend that series.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like you said, I think no true point guard, former MVP of the league is not playing. I guess the only advantage the Rockets have is they're at home. They're at the home court, but outside of that, like you said, Sengun can have a good game, but does he? Amir Thompson can have a good game, But again, what do these guys do? I think one thing that the Lakers do have that we know they have very well is they have a leader. They have somebody that has the experience. One of my best friends, he's a huge KD fan, and he says, "Man, I can't believe KD is letting this happen. This, that, and the third." But LeBron isn't. Well, yeah, because I think LeBron is a leader. I think he's the one. He's the one that is a big time leader for this team. We've seen him do it with less. So, and I think there's a possibility that they say that Austin Reeves may come back later on in this series as well. So, in my opinion, you could put this away and give your guys some rest. You know what I'm saying? Especially, a couple of guys that you have that is injured, and this is their chance to put it away. Like you said, I definitely expect the Rockets to come out with some type of fight, but it's going to take Sengun and Amir Thompson to have those games and for them to dig deep in that bench. Hey, Tari Eason, your ass got to get going.
Yes.
Reed Shepherd. I mean, like you said, these guards is giving you problems, but you got to figure it out. You know what I mean? But with a defender like a Marcus Smart, he got the experience too. The Lakers have some nice little pieces over there that's playing a very good role when needed. But the question is, can the Rockets grab this win? Like you said, I can kind of see it happening too. I'm just expecting the Rockets to be coming in very very aggressive, ready to go. They should be efficient, but that game definitely kicks off in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes. Philly is down big. 23 points to Boston right now, 71-48. Before we go to break, D-Locke, go to the comments real quick. A lot of comments flying in. Let me pull them up real quick. Marcus Lowe's great in the chat. He says KD's legacy is in trouble. That's hard to say. Hard to say. And then Mikey, Two Guns, who lives out in Boston. Shout out to Mikey. He said, my season dominating, stop the fight. Yeah, they're running and gunning right now. Jason Tatum taking it to the rack. He kicking it back up to Derek White, who's not having his best series right now.
Nope.
Talking about Derek White. Man, and thank goodness Jason Tatum came back the time he did, and Jason Tatum just airballed a shot. He said, also Mark is saying, the C's having a healthy Tatum at this point is the season is an issue. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, if they win the series, which they probably should win, to get matched up between the Knicks and Hawks. Was it Knicks? No. Yeah, Knicks and Hawks, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Tatum, who didn't play 82 games, is a problem. Yeah. How impressed you been with Tatum this far post his Achilles return?
Very much. I mean, I remember when they were saying he was coming back, that I was thinking it was probably wise for him to sit a little bit longer. But clearly, he knows his body. They've been training super hard to get back. I think this team is going to be one hard to beat, especially now that we know what Tatum and Tatum is. You bring him in with Jaylen Brown. So been very impressed with him, man. I think now, and they obviously the playoffs right now, they bumped up his minutes. You know what I mean? So now he's definitely up there in minutes. At least he's playing extremely well. So the Celtics are definitely now, like I said, having him back, like Marcus Lowe's great said, like having him back is definitely going to be an issue. But also, like I said, adding Vooch into the fold as well. This team definitely has depth, and with all of that, it makes it easier for them not to really rely on Jason Tatum to do so much.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's playing very well in the second half. The Celtics, they're getting what they want right now against Philly. I mean, I understand Joel coming back, but I mean, damn, it seemed like it just mute and point. And even though Joel Embiid just shoot a 3-pointer right foot in Vooch's face to bring the lead down to 20 points with 4:35 left in the third quarter. And then going to the other chats real quick. Who would have thought the Tatum injury would turn to a blessing? Tatum rested and fresh for the postseason. Watch out, NBA. Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah. And then let's see. Marcus brought it up at this point. Yeah, I think, if we get time to talk about it, Steve Kerr's name is being brought up, potentially not returning to Golden State, but he said KD needs to go back to Golden State. A lot of questions out in the Bay Area. And who knows what they're going to do. They said they're going to keep Draymond around. Peyton Pritchard just shot another 3. And then Mike said, what's going on with KD? I haven't been keeping up with the Houston Lakers series. Yeah, KD got hurt. Didn't play game 1, came back game 2. Got shut out in the second half in game 2. Didn't play game 3 and is not playing game 4. And then what you sent me early today, D-Locke, I feel like this man has checked out of Houston.
Yeah.
We'll see. But Peyton Pritchard was another free in front of Tyrese Maxey. Like you said, if they go big enough, you pull Tatum and Brown and let them sit. And Joel answered back with number 3. So, Joel's the only one showing up. Brian Freshion said, good evening, guys. He said, we're winning more with NBL. He said, also, Davidson and Dentarius, are you guys in Atlanta? No, I'm in Alabama. He's in Pittsburgh. Need the Hawks to take out the Knicks. I can't stand the Knicks. We'll talk about this series here in a little bit. Very interesting series. And then I will talk about the game going on right now. So we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of things, did the New York Knicks wake up, or was Game 4 just a kind of a one-off for the New York Knicks and their issues? We'll discuss that much more here on Fast Break, live for iSports Radio, your deep for sports, and we'll catch you on the other side.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Fast Break here for IE Sports Radio. You're for always sports. If you're new to IE Sports Radio and Fast Break here, do like the show. Please hit that like button. Also, subscribe to IE Sports Radio, the YouTube page. Try and get those numbers up, so subscribe. Hit that bell notification. So every time one of us go live here with us every Sunday, the other shows throughout the week. The FIFA World Cup is right around the corner this summer. So we got you covered there. You know, all the games around North America. And God help us, you know, how that's going to look security-wise come the summer. But, you know, getting ahead of ourselves. So do check out our Chin Pass Shenanigans show that will be coming on later on this week. Our girl Jess, Mike, I think it's Mike, will break down those upcoming pools and matchups as the weeks come along. D-Lock, kind of left on teaser here, but the New York Knicks, the Atlanta Hawks are tied 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
In a tight battle right now, with the series currently tied 2-2 after New York's dominated the game for a win. Karl Anthony Towns, double-double, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, dominate inside and as a playmaker. The Knicks defense suffocated Atlanta, forcing 18 turnovers, holding to 41% for shooting. CJ McCollum led the way for Hawks, 17 points, but 0 for 4 for three-point land. The series 2-2, going back to New York. The New York Knicks had a very, like I said, dominant win. D-Lock, is this like a one-off for the Knicks, or have they kind of woken up a little bit with all the issues going on with Mike Brown? You know, the thing I sent you about Mitchell Robinson, you know, calling out Mike Brown and stuff like that. Do you think the New York Knicks have woken up and started taking control of the series?
I don't think so. One person has not been playing well with the Knicks, and that's Mikal Bridges. He has not been playing very good for them this series. He's been having a rough series. Also, we haven't seen too much from Deuce McBride either. Jordan Clarkson has been playing a little bit better for them than Deuce McBride. Haven't seen too much from Shamet. I think that, you know, Karl Anthony Towns, you know, caught fire. I think he had a triple-double that game. I think the Hawks are going to be very tough. A person that's having a hell of a series for them is CJ McCollum. Mm-hmm. He's doing well for them. And my thing is, they're letting the Hawks stick around. Out of 4 games, I was believing that the Knicks would be up 3-1. I didn't think it would be tied 2-2. I think that the Knicks are a hell of a much better team. But they're letting the Hawks stick around. Another thing is this rotation of guards for the Hawks is working out well for them. Jalen Johnson kind of woke up, but he's been kind of inconsistent in this series as well. So for me, I think they're letting the Hawks stick around a little too much. In my opinion, and I'll say this now, I think the Hawks win Game 5.
Ooh.
The reason why I say that is because I think right now McCollum is catching fire. We haven't seen a huge game from Dyson Daniels yet, or Alexander Walker. So unless, and obviously Madison Square Garden is what it is, but I think the Hawks are in a good spot. Okay, bet you're going to New York and it's 0-0. You know what I mean? So this is probably the most, in my opinion, the most important game of the series, because whoever wins this next game is one win away from, moving on to the next round. And we had high expectations for the Knicks. So to me, if like I said, I'm looking at these numbers, none of me is playing pretty solid for them, but Mikal Bridges is not doing too much. Mitchell Robinson, okay, he's, like you said, he has his issues, but they went really deep in their bench. Now, obviously because they were blowing him out, but now McBride had a game, but how consistent is that going to be?
Yeah,
that's the big thing. A person that has not had a game for the Hawks yet is the one Dyson Daniels, and he is going to have a game at some point. So to me, I would watch out for this. Watch out for this Hawks team. Another person that is also getting a lot of rotation for the Hawks is Kuminga, which we talked about him in Golden State, what kind of a player he can be. He is actually been pretty consistent for them so far. But I'm going to take a bold statement and say that the Hawks do go get Game 5. I think that the Knicks are unless Jalen Brunson and those guys can actually come out hot, I think the Hawks are very close to getting a chance to taking that win, especially if Alexander Walker and those guys get cooking early.
Man, this series is kind of tough because it's like you don't know which way they're going to go, who's going to step up and kind of assert themselves. Kuminga, let's go to the Hawks side of things. Kuminga's been pretty consistent for the time he's been playing. I mean, you can't really hate on that. Gabe Vincent in Game 4 gave you solid, production for the most part. 10 points. You really can't hate on that too much. But I'm looking at their starters. Kwangu, Dyson Daniels, and Jalen Johnson. Not having the best games right now.
Nope.
And I don't think I could be wrong. Jalen Johnson has not gotten a triple-double yet in this series, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not saying he averaged a triple-double all year, but it was damn near close for most of the season. Let me pull up his stats real quick. 22 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists for the year. So that's damn near triple-double numbers, but he really has been close to that in this series. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. In the matchup against the Knicks. Dyson Daniels, non-existent for the most part in Game 4. So somebody's got to wake up, with that group. And I think you kind of look at it now, you kind of missing a Trae Young right now. And I think Trae Young will kind of offset some of these struggles right now with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mentioned Jalen Johnson's stats, but we're talking about the Houston series and Amen Thompson, he's not a full-time guard. He can handle the ball somewhat, but, he's not Jalen Johnson not like a real facilitator.
Mm-mm.
I'm talking about like big, tall guards like that. Only 2 people come to mind to me. 2 people, maybe a third, in a sense. Magic Johnson,
right?
Lamar Odom, and possibly throwing Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
You want to talk like, Magic more point guard, but you talking about point forwards those guys, I think, you can facilitate offense around through, especially Magic. But these other guys we've been discussing tonight, they're okay. But in a fast-paced, boom, boom, get up down the court and stuff like that, trying to set up all that stuff and have efficient shoot nights, they can't do it on a 40-night basis. And lucky for the Hawks, you talk about the Knicks struggles. Miles Bridges, 19 minutes and eight points. We mentioned about Karl Towns triple-double. Brunson went out a little bit but came back, 19 points for him. Josh Hart, 10 points for him, 9 rebounds in the matchup. OG had 22 points, and you mentioned about McBride, 11 points for him. Clarkson, 7 points off the bench. So, your role players kind of stepped up when they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
The game going into game 4, Mike Brown, you didn't know if you're going to keep Bridges in the lineup, which he did. Now coming to game 5, do you make a change or just keep the status ho hum? Which I think he probably will, but I gotta go with the Knicks in game 5 here. Just because I just thinking, if Jalen Johnson doesn't play strong, if Donte Divincenzo gonna play strong, then I don't think it's gonna serve the Atlanta Hawks well. Unless CJ McCollum comes out of another heater in the Garden, I think Atlanta is going to struggle a little bit. But I think for the kids, Mike Brown got to keep Cat involved. That's the main thing. Keep Cat involved. Find ways to get Miles Bridges going in the open court and stuff like that. And I think you can do those things. Brunson does his thing. OG does his thing. I think you'd be okay. And then if those bench guys give you solid production, not necessarily have to be scoring, but give you solid production, I think New York can win this game.
Yeah. Obviously being at Madison Square Garden, I think, like you said, this team that we've had high. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember, I had them going to the NBA Finals.
Same here.
So I see them. They got the team, the roster. I think that they are the team to beat. Is just they, like you said, they need to go ahead and go up 3 tomorrow. They need to go ahead or the next game, because right now they're giving the Hawks a little bit of that. The Hawks got some confidence, so they got to get rolling. Hell, I mean, CJ McCollum is having the series of his life right now.
Yeah. I
mean, he's playing extremely well. He's catching fire from everywhere. So, like you said, they're missing that guard play a little bit. But McCollum is leading the charge, even when Jalen Johnson is not playing well. So he's sticking. They're sticking around. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by you letting these teams stick around. Now, hell, I mean, they're not going to New York up 3-1. They're going to New York, and it's dead even. So it's going to be very interesting, man, because, like I said, we both know that this game 5 is the most important game of the series.
And I'll leave on top on like this. Chris Donte has done a fine job. And I think one thing for the Hawks, if they lose the series, if they go out losing the series, not that hang your head low. And I think this Hawks team, to a degree, sort of overachieved in a bit with how their rosters make up all that stuff. And I think for them, what happens in the offseason, they need a creator, a take charge type of dude. And I think one thing that could help him with that, remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Hawks got the New Orleans Pelicans first-round pick this year due to the Derek Queen trade.
Yep.
Let's not forget about that in the draft last year. Now we here later on down the road here, we'll talk more about the draft. But you got a lot of talented kids coming out this year. And they lottery odds go well, that could swing things well in Atlanta's favor to kind of, elevate this roster a little bit more with Quinn Snyder's coaching. So for the Hawks, like I said, they've done a great job all year, but I think, they're not as talented as the Knicks, we were being real.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things got to break their way. A lot of guys got to play well to break their way. And so far, those guys, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, and a couple other guys that you can name, really haven't helped in that department, in which that's the type of team you need all hands, all deck to win a series. It's not like Brunson could give you 35 and you can win your series. Cat can win you a series. And stuff like that. No, you need kind of all hands deck right here with this type of team. But you say you got the Hawks winning tomorrow?
I'm going to make that bold statement and have the Hawks, and I think Jalen Johnson has a game. Him and Alexander Walker. I don't know if you're going to get the same game we got from Karl Anthony Towns game 5. That triple-double, I think that's going to be tough. But I definitely think the Hawks are. Dyson Daniels, was a hell of a defender. I think he's going to give them issues. And I think the Hawks do get the upset.
So I got the Knicks winning. Tomorrow evening, I think it's going to be real interesting. And that New York crowd, I mean, live and popping right now. Live and popping tomorrow. So we'll see how things shape out there. D-Locke, this series right here, and I'll be honest with you, this was like a throwaway series for me. I was like, it could have went either way. I was like, you had the other series had more storyline. Knicks, Hawks, Lakers, Rockets, OKC, can they repeat? Your Orlando Magic, Detroit, and like the Magic kind of realized their potential against the young Detroit Pistons, Spurs and Blazers. The Blazers, the new owner, he kind of overshadowing his team and their run to the playoffs. All that stuff. This series right here is kind of like a throwaway series. But we're tied 2-2 in this series. Cleveland, Toronto are tied 2-2 in the first round of the series. Toronto won this afternoon's game 93-89. Brandon Ingram had 23 points, one of his better games in the series. Scotty Barnes had 17 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. RJ Barrett, 17 points to lead the way to help along for the Raptors. Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell had 20 points, but shot 6 for 20 from the field. Ooh. And James Harden added 19 points, 7 assists. And then an 8-second violation flipped the script in favor for the Raptors to win today's game. D-Locke, the first couple games, Raptors fans were done with Brandon Ingram. They ain't saying the same when Emmanuel quickly hasn't been playing, so their point guard was out. But they were kind of done. And then next they woke up in game 3, won big time. Mm-hmm. And win this game here today, low scoring affair for the most part. Who has the edge in this series?
this one is a hard one because I thought obviously going to the series, I had Cleveland winning this series. I thought they would put this away pretty early, but I'm still gonna go with Cleveland having the edge, even with this loss. Quickly is out for this series. Jacob Walter, who started, ain't do nothing the last game, but today he played like he was Fred VanVleet. Scotty Barnes and B.I. I'm watching the game, and it takes Brandon Ingram it takes him a while to get going. But I think that this Cavs team still has the edge. I think the problem also is with the Cavs. I think another reason why this game is so close, they got to shorten up that rotation. They trying to they trying to get. I'm talking about Strus is out there, Keon Ellis. They're trying to get everybody some type of minutes. Dean Wade, you gotta, in my opinion, you gotta kind of move that around. Dean Wade is starting; he's not really giving you too much. So in my opinion, you gotta maybe you put Max Strus in the lineup. However you fix it, but you got to shorten that rotation a little bit. You got Dennis Schroeder out there trying to cook. I think that you sign James Harden. Let him get those minutes. I mean, he's starting to wake up, and then you're taking him out for Dennis Schroeder, or you're taking him out for Keon Ellis. You got the two guards back there, and we talk about it with the trade. You got Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. I think, in my opinion, those two guys need to be on the court together a little bit more. It doesn't seem like they're on the court as often. Watching the game, I'm looking at them, and they obviously these are ball-dominant players, but having both of them on the court, I think, plays a big role. James Harden is getting in rhythm, and they're taking him out. Donovan Mitchell's getting in rhythm, and they're taking him out, trying to get all these other guys in. So, to me, they're going deep into their rotation. Kind of shorten that up a little bit, in my opinion. So I still think, like I said, Mobley, Jared Allen, who went through he went to the end of the third quarter with 0 scoring points, just playing great defense. He's another player that he's going to have a game as well at some point. But I think Cleveland does have the edge. A person that's looking very, very good this series, though, is Murray Bowles. He's looking really, really good. And he's showing, he definitely worked that draft pick. So, to me, it's interesting to see what they're going to do because they have Sandra coming in for Jacopoto and Murray Bowles. That rotation for Toronto is going a lot of ways. But I think that, as much as R.J. Barrett and B.I. can get going with Scotty Barnes, I think the Cavs still got the edge. I did look at some tickets for that game. I'm thinking about checking it out. I think those tickets was like $40. So I'm like, oh man, I might have to go ahead and try to make that drive to go to that game. But I think it is on Wednesday. So indeed, I may still thinking about it, but Cleveland, I definitely think still have that edge right now, especially going to Game 5.
This game earlier this afternoon today, both teams didn't shoot the ball well. They did not shoot the ball well. We just alluded to that. Cleveland 10 for 40 for 3-point land. You mentioned about Max Strus. 0 for 5 from the field and 3-point land, 1 point, and that's at the free throw line. And I always say free throws matters in close games like this. And going 15 to 23 from the free throw line does not help your squad. Now, Toronto went 27-36, not the worst thing in the world. They shot 75%, but Cleveland shooting 62% from the line. I'm not saying that's a determining factor, but it goes a long way in the box score. How you think you should look to shake things out. But Keon Ellis, played 4 minutes. So he got in. He was out. He was in that second quarter, but he was out. Schroeder, 8 points. But it's like trying to find a balance of all these dudes, and Kenny Atkinson, haven't really found something yet. I think you probably move Dean Wade to the bench I know he's got good size at small forward, but I think he likes having Strus come off the bench, but maybe start Schroeder, see if he get something going. And the thing is, you can't do that because Harden got the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe put Jalen Tyson out there in the starting spot, see how he does. In that spot. He didn't play bad. And see how that goes about and how does that go with things. But other than that, Ingram, like I said, played better, but 6 for 23 from the field. I mean, that's not great. Scotty Barnes 6 for 15, Barrett 8 for 22. But at the end of the day, and they shot 4 for 30 from 3-point land too. It's like, ugh.
Right.
But at the end of the day, a win's a win. A win's a win, and your team is tied 2-2 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were number 1 seed last year.
That game was just, like I said earlier, that game literally going to halftime, it was like 39-39 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, both teams just shot horribly. They're letting another team letting another team take the Cavs are letting Toronto stick around. And with this talent that they have, I mean, we're looking at that starting five for Cleveland, and that is a very good starting five. Mobley, Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Strus, or Dean Wade. I mean, you got a nice solid squad. Obviously now you got Keon Ellis coming off the bench with Schroeder. These guys, I believe they still have the edge. But again, their stars need to be stars. And this series right now is not being a high scoring series, in my opinion.
So let's see, what's the next game for this series?
I think it's Wednesday.
Hold up. Damn, they pushed this one out. Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Come Wednesday, who do you got winning game 5?
I'm gonna take Cleveland in this one.
Yeah.
I think I'll tell you, Murray Bowles is literally keeping this team afloat. I mean, he's been playing extremely well this series. Looking at today's game, he grabbed some key rebounds to give them an opportunity. Actually, Jacopo played pretty decent today as well. I don't think that happens in Cleveland. I believe that Mobley is going to have his game Wednesday. I think the bigs will dominate Wednesday. Harden was off a little bit today, but I think in Cleveland, I think these guys are going to be making it rain. I think, and also like I said, I definitely want to be, like I said, may possibly be at that game. That ticket stays about $40. Like I said, I think may possibly make that drive, but I definitely have Cavs going up in game 5.
I'm with you. I got Cleveland winning. It's like, I mean, I just don't trust this incarnation of this Toronto squad to kind of win a series. And I think, if you're Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, you got to come out and shoot better next game. And I think, Max Strus coming back at home, I think he'll come in and have at least a 15-point game that kind of goes in favor for the Cavaliers. So I got Cleveland winning. But also on the other side of things, for Toronto, Murray Bowles he's been playing very well.
Extremely well, yes.
But for the other guys, the shooting efficiency got to be better. Talking about Barrett, Ingram, and Barnes. There's got the slot selection and efficiency got to be better for them to win. But I got Cleveland winning Wednesday's game. Real quick, D-Locke. Something happened last night. The Nuggets lost to the Timberwolves, in which, if you were watching this game, you watching the game, you were into it. ABC. Next thing you know, the game gets interrupted. D-Locke. Something happened in Washington, and had to cut away from the game on ABC. Now, I will say this: the game was on ESPN. They moved to ESPN, all that stuff. So, all that good jazz. So they did keep the game going. That'd be real shitty if they didn't do that. I'll say that. But despite all that, and most of America, not giving a crap what happened out in DC last night, and when the game put back on, Minnesota won the game very handily, despite two major losses. Ayo Dosunmu scored for 43 points, carrying the Wolves after both Donte Divincenzo from Achilles and Anthony Edwards, bone bruise and hyperextended in the knee, exited early. Divincenzo went out early in the first quarter. Edwards later on in the game. But I think, for Minnesota D-Locke, they weathered the storm. Like I said, Ayo had 43 points. Conley came in and provided some solid play for them. I had to shout him out because he came in, gave you some good, nice veteran minutes, for the squad and leadership that's needed in that second half. So shout out to him as well. Jay McDaniels added late game drama on the last second layup that sparked conversation with him. Nikola Jokic, Julius Randle, both got ejected in that matchup. D-Locke, my question to you. Game 5 is tomorrow on Peacock and NBC, I believe. Edwards, Divincenzo are out. Can the Timberwolves close out Game 5 in Denver with those two guys out?
I don't think so. Jokic and Jamal Murray is just entirely too much. Aaron Gordon is didn't have a game. I think he grabbed one rebound the whole game. I think he's gonna play better. We are talking about the Denver Nuggets. I think they're gonna come out going, but you're missing two key guys. Now, the Timberwolves did show us with Dosunmu, these guys can come in and play a huge role. But I think that you're gonna see a big key game from Jokic and Jamal Murray. I think these two guys know what was at stake. And Jokic being who he is. Now, Gobert has been giving him problems this whole series.
He sure has.
So it hasn't been very smooth for Joker. He's been having to work. But I think this game, knowing what's at stake and who they are missing, I definitely like the Nuggets to get this next win.
I think the Nuggets will get the next win because you're losing two guys that, Divincenzo and Edwards. Like, Divincenzo's give you 12 points a game, and Edwards, damn near 30 points a game. It's going to be tough without those two guys. But I think one thing, if you're Minnesota, that I think one thing you kind of things is kind of going your way in a sense, like you mentioned, Eric Gordon is not playing his best. Like, he's been injured for the good part of the year this season with lower leg injuries. So he's not been 100% from not from any point in the season. Christian Braun. I don't know, man. It seems like they kind of gave him the money a little bit too early. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I think one thing about the NBA that's always kind of been an Achilles heel, they kind of rush giving some guys extensions. Well, I say rush giving. Okay, let me rephrase that. I think it's kind of wrong. I think they overvalue some of these guys when they give you extensions.
Right.
Like Chris Brown, 5-year, 125. That's a lot of money for.
It's a big bag, is what that is.
In a sense, for a role player.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. Cam Johnson. Damn, when they got him, I thought, damn, a guy, versatile guy, stuff like that. Can score, can defend multiple positions, can handle the ball a little bit. Something you kind of need better than Michael Porter Jr., but it's just like, it's just been real quiet with him for the most part this year. So Jamal Murray, he had 30 points in the matchup. Jokic, he almost had a triple-double. But, Minnesota's play, Ayo kind of saved the day here, but Ross Reed, 17 points for him. Like I mentioned, my Mike Conley had solid production off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Bones Highland gave you good production, even though I think he took some bad three-pointers in that second half. Gobert, 4 points, 15 rebounds, but as long as he doing his best to kind of slow down Jokic, I ain't worried about his stat line.
Yes. Be a defender more than an offender at that point. Yeah.
If you get your points, you get your points. Well, I need your rebounds, I need your steals, and I need your blocks.
Yes.
and kind of watch your foul situation. And right now, Philly has won the game against Philly. The game's not over, 128-96 right now with a minute and 20 left. Despite Joel Embiid coming back to the photo things. But back to this game real quick. McDaniels, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Randall, 15 points. For next game, those two got to watch themselves. I think the rest going to be looking out for them. So if you're Chris Finch, you got to tell those dudes, hey, early on, they're going to try to look for y'all and cause some ticky-tack stuff on y'all. So kind of be aware of that. Play smart. Don't get, tangled up with Jokic, anything like that. Eric Gordon, whatever. Christian Braun. Just play your game. Play smart basketball, and don't put the team in a hole which you're already in anyways with our other two guys at.
Yep.
If you're Chris Finch, I'm telling those two guys, hey, I won't need y'all for the rest of this for this playoff run. And we can't have this team coming down, beating us, come back all the way 3-1 to beat us 4-3 in the series. Playing bad and they in your head. Can't have that. So for Monday's game, for me, like I said, Denver will win. But for Minnesota, things got to click on all cylinders. Julius Randle got to have a strong game. He got to at least have 25 points, at least 12 rebounds. McDaniels, more the stat line he had like game 4. Maybe like added like 15 points there. Then your bench guys got to show up. Ayo got to have a strong game. He can't disappear and have like 5 points next game. It's got, honestly, not saying a 43-point game, but it's got to be at least. It's got to be at least 20-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Nas Reed, same thing, 17 points like he did in game 4. If you keep that same production there, I think Minnesota will be okay. But I think Jokic, the way he got mad and stuff like that, I think he's going to come out strong with a vengeance in game 5.
I agree. I think the Nuggets are gonna come with it. I don't know if we see the Suns go for 40 again, which is a hell of a game, but I think the Knicks are gonna be tough. I do expect a strong game from Julius Randle, however. Mm-hmm. Now that your big guys, your Ant-Man is out, the other guys are gonna have to step up, and hoping that they don't put all of it on DeSantis' shoulders. You're going to need Julius Randle to have a game. Naj Reid's going to have to come off the bench and have a game. But I think what's at stake, the Nuggets are going to go and get this win.
And I do wonder who Minnesota starts in Game 5. I'm real curious about that, because do you put Mike Conley in the starting lineup and kind of stabilize things, see how things go? I know Ayo is probably going to start. So do you start Conley and Ayo in that starting line to replace Edwards and Divincenzo? Or do you put Ayo and Bones Highland in the starting lineup?
It's going to be tough, but I think you might have to, in my opinion, I would put you're probably your veteran out there. So I would start Conley. Just to keep things going, obviously. Highland's going to get his minutes, but I think Conley being there, I think that's in my opinion. I think that's what they should do. But I just want to see how, like you said, who do they start? How do they approach it? Because they're going to come in trying to close it out as well. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to just lay down. I think that this game could possibly be a game that goes to overtime. But I think they fight hard. But, their approach is to, hey, let's go, like you said, let's go ahead and end this series now, and get some rest on the guys that we have, because they can't take any more injuries. No. That's something they can't have. You can't have that. But I do think now, Julius Randle, you got to have a game.
Yep. This
has to be the game of all games for you. DeSantis was talking about, growing up and being a kid and dreaming of a game like the one he had. Julius Randle needs to have that game on this next one for them to be able to close the series out.
And like I said, Eric Gordon's not healthy. If you Julius Randle, you gotta be on attack mode. If you get switched on him, and he's on you on defense, probably why I put Cam Johnson on him since Eric Gordon's been hurt. But if you're Julius Randle, if Eric Gordon's guarding you, you got to take advantage of that. You got to drive on him, make his legs work.
Mm-hmm.
Make his legs work. Get him up down the court, and get his legs hurt and tired that he's going back to the locker room once again. So I think that things can happen. That can go and help Minnesota right there. But like I said, I think Joker is going to come out strong in that.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And
he's going to come with it.
In Game 6, who knows?
Yeah. I make a bold statement that says he have a triple-double.
Oh. I agree with you there.
He was damn near close, I think, the last game. I think he missed about maybe assist or two, maybe two. Maybe he had 8 assists or 9. He was close to it. So this one, oh yes, he definitely is going to come with it.
Real quick, D-Lock, before we get out of here, do the Suns have a chance tomorrow? I mean,
this team got so much talent on there too. I like Devin Booker and Jalen Green. I like that combination. I really do. But they ain't got a chance in hell. They're not beating OKC. That team is too loaded. They don't know what to do with Chet Holmgren.
No.
Hardenstein is, he coming there, he doing some cleanup work with them. Obviously Mark Williams is out. Dylan Brooks, he can stare up and down the court all he wants. It's just not that team is tough to beat, man. Royce O'Neal got a lot of minutes yesterday. He didn't do too much. Or last game, he didn't do too much. I just think that this team is locked in. This is their chance to put it away. I think this is going to be the game that SGA has when he takes control, and he has. I think SGA has a double tomorrow as well. He's gonna shoot. He's gonna catch fire. Also, AJ Mitchell has been playing extremely well too. He's been getting in those minutes that Caruso will usually get, and there's other guys. I think Aaron Wiggins got in a little bit. So they're just too loaded, man. So the Suns, like I said, I do like the combination with Devin Booker and Jalen Green, but in my opinion, they're not beating OKC.
Yeah, OKC will win tomorrow. As a Laker fan, I hope Phoenix squeeze out a win so you extend that series. Because the Laker game and Laker and Houston game about to tip right now. And I hope they can extend that Phoenix and OKC's one more game just in case the Lakers sweep and you extending Luka's rest and Austin Reeves' rest for the next round. You know, it didn't make a hill of beans difference during the regular season, but you get my point. But yeah, Phoenix has no chance, and OKC, unfortunately. Real quick, Spurs versus Blazers. The Spurs won today very handily. Scoot Henderson, 0 points. Donovan Klingman didn't play much. The Blazers were a nice story on a court wise. Avaja had 26 points. Holiday 20 points. The series goes back to San Antonio. Dude, this Blazers have a chance in hell.
I watched that game today. The Blazers were up, I think, 18 at half.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the Spurs just said, in a sense, okay, hold my beer. They came out, and that lead diminished within 2 or 3 minutes. De'Aaron Fox caught fire. The Spurs are going to be, we knew this, obviously, them being who they are. That team is going to be very tough, man. I mean, Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Victor, all these guys, they are going to be very tough. Kendall Johnson coming off the bench, he can catch fire as well. Devin Vassell, this team is loaded, very much loaded. I do like Drew Holiday. I like Denny, but the Spurs are just too much. I'm literally watching that. We know this about Victor when he got drafted. This dude barely jumps, and his hands is damn near at the rim. So he's doing alley-oops, and they're throwing it. He's really just putting his hands up and tapping it in. You know what I mean? Looking at his blocks, he's not jumping. He's blocking and just block and catching it with the other hand. So it's this dude does it all. I don't think Robert Williams or Clean can do anything. I'm watching this game, and they got Drew Holiday on Victor. Like, come on, man. How in the hell do you even let that rotation happen? If that happens, I'm fouling that dude ASAP. There's no way he's getting the ball. So, again, I think Scoot is he's not gonna have 0 points again the next game, but the Spurs are gonna put this away.
Yeah, I think the Spurs put away as well. That game too. I hate to say it like this, but I think if Victor didn't go out with a concussion, then we could be talking about a sweep.
Mm-hmm.
But Portland had the chances. Is just like how they got to the playoffs. They won the play-in and stuff like that, but then you didn't play Jeremy Grant for the most part of April. And then you had a chance to make it to the playoffs to play him. And he started off poorly, but, he's kind of caught himself back again. Hopefully Thiago Splitter gets a fair shake to get the head coach job. But who knows? Because we've seen reports of the new owner trying to be cheap. Yeah, which I think Summer or whenever someone got pulled him to the side, say, hey, man, you're not going to get an NBA head coach at $1 million.
No.
You can't. I'm not saying you can't get somebody with an opportunity, but whatnot. I'm not saying you can, coax somebody like Avery Johnson, for example, to come out and coach for you for $1 million, even though I don't think Avery would do that. But you can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why bother buying a team if you're going to shortchange it? But anyways, I think Spurs get it done, and then get everybody healthy and wait for the winner of Minnesota and Denver. But San Antonio kind of waking up and kind of handling business against Portland. And then before we head out, your Magic versus the Pistons. Before we get out of here, they play tomorrow in Orlando. The Magic are up 2-1 against the number 1 seed. D-Lock, how you feeling tomorrow night against the Pistons?
Feeling great. You're up 2-1. You're at home. This is your chance to, against the number 1 seed, this is your chance to take a huge lead on this team. But my thing is, this last game, Wendell Carter had a game that Angel Reese had to be there. He had the game of his life. The man had 17 rebounds. 17. Does he come back and do that? Now, he's been giving Jalen Durant fits all series long.
Yes.
It's like he's, the Jalen Durant we've been seeing all season has not been showing up in this series. Also, right now, it seems as if the only person doing something for the Pistons is Cade Cunningham. Tobias shows up here or there, but Cade Cunningham has been leading the charge for this team. So, for me, I'm feeling real good. I want to see how other guys get involved. I need to see Jalen Suggs come back and he played okay, but he could have played better this past game. But I do. Ben Carroll took over. I mean, he's showing why we draft him. So to me, I think this game tomorrow is going to be a tough one. This is the number 1 seed. I think Durant is going to have his game. Cade Cunningham is going to have his game. But this is why you went and got Desmond Bane. It's why you made those moves to go get these guys. You are at home. Go ahead and take the lead in this series. And let's go up 3-1.
I think the Magic, you can't let Cade Cunningham get hot.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, get him going, get things cooking, and then all the other guys kind of fall in line and kind of wake up too. Jalen Durant has not played his best this series.
Nope.
But you don't want him waking up at the wrong time if you're the Magic. I think for Orlando, and I had Orlando going to the Eastern Conference Finals at the beginning of the year. If they go 3-1, it would help them go along to this path. Because let's just say if Toronto wins out that series, that's a good matchup in your odds.
Yes. Very good matchup.
You know what I'm saying? And now, granted, Toronto had the home court advantage, but still, and then next you know, depending who comes out beating up each other in Boston, New York, you never know, things can happen. But you gotta win this game tomorrow night. Got to.
Yes.
You gotta put, JB Bickerstaff and those guys in an uncomfortable situation that they never been a part of. And avenge the sins from the past. Tracy McGrady and crew going up 3-1, and then just kind of let things happen in that series years ago. But Desmond Bane got to come out strong. Jalen Suggs got to play strong. And Frank, you know what? Franz Wagner has got to come out strong.
Yes. Agree.
So if Franz Wagner come out strong, I think that'll go a long way for Detroit. They got better scores than Detroit.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing you know it is. You kind of look at this Orlando team like, damn, you got Desmond Bain, got Pancaro, got Franz Wagner. You know, Anthony Black can score the ball and stuff like that. And it's like, what's going on here? But now, gotta see Jamal Mosey's on the hot seat. So I got Orlando winning tomorrow. I think the other guys for Detroit, I don't. It's like they got to wake the hell up. And you know, you can't. And God bless Tobias Harris. None against him, but I mean, Tobias Harris shouldn't, be help showing the scoring low. Asura Thompson should be helping with that. Duncan Robinson should be helping with that better. And mainly Jalen Duren. Your bench, they got to show up if you're Detroit.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get jack squat for them at all. So, if you're Detroit, Kate Cunningham got to do his thing. But those other names I mentioned, they got to show up as well. But I'll let you have the last word.
I just think that, like you said, a short Thompson and needs to have a game for them. Jenkins needs to come in and play a little bit better as well. But you're not really getting anything from Duncan Robinson. He's literally out there. He give maybe he pop a couple threes, and that's it. So again, but I think the key factor in this team, or for this team, is Jalen Duren. I mean, he's just not. Wendell Carter is playing very well against him right now. Cade Cunningham is having the game that he wants, but Jalen Duren just hasn't. I don't even think he had a double-double this whole series. So, to me, if they get him going early, then they have a chance. I mean, the game that they won, Wendell Carter was in foul trouble. So they had to go into that, and when he got in foul trouble, now we started to see Jalen Duren kind of get going. So, but on my Magic side, I think, like you said, if Wagner gets going, I think this team moves. But in my opinion, watching it, I think if Jalen Suggs can get going, that opens up a lot for all these players. Now you open up a lot for Desmond Bain. Banchero's going to be Banchero. But if you can get Jalen Suggs to get going, I think that's going to play a huge role. And also now that Anthony Black is back, he comes in, he gets his minutes. He plays hell of a defense. But Jalen Suggs needs to get rolling. If Jalen Suggs starts out hot, and not even assists, but if he can get some scoring points early, I think the Magic are going to be in a good spot. Because I think one game during the season, he got hot early, ended up having 12 assists that game. So he had his own double-double. So if he can get going, I think that opens up everything. They're going to probably focus their attention on Banchero. So I'm definitely expecting, Bain to get more opportunities. Franz Wagner, as you said, he's going to have to wake up. But like you said, they got the scores. You just got to go out there and get it done. And like I said, you're at home. Yep. So take advantage. Like you said, put them in a situation that they're not expected to be in, and take lead of this series. I mean, obviously they're the number one seed. You take them down, your confidence is going to go through the roof.
So we'll leave on that note. The Lakers and Rockets are in full swing right now, with the Lakers up 9-8 right now in the first quarter. And so I think we'll be live. Down here, we'll be live tweeting during this game. So everybody will be watching this game and see how things finish out, whatnot. But final prediction, Locke. for the Lakers and Rockets before we get out of here. Do the Lakers finish the job, in your opinion?
I'm still taking the Rockets. I don't think they're gonna go. I'm gonna stick to it. I think those guys. I know they're missing KD, but I think they're gonna get it done. They know what's at stake because they lose this game. This offseason is gonna be very interesting. So I got the Rockets getting this win. Lakers beat them in LA.
I got my team winning. Y'all, some of y'all probably looking and saying, "Well, then you got a Portland hoodie on." Hey man, I coach basketball, I coach youth leagues, and I get a chance to wear different apparel. So, but the Los Angeles Lakers will win this game, and we'll see how things go. But this has been our show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with us tonight. Here on the network. Locke, how can the people find your social media?
Guys, find me at Black-813. I've been doing a lot of retweets of the draft. My Bucks, I believe we had a hell of a draft, in my opinion. Very, very good draft. I'll take that. But I'll definitely be talking about my matchup soon as well. Let them know they can find you in the show's page.
You can find the show's page at Fast Break at IESR. That's Fast Break at IESR. You can follow me at Twitter /X is Bomb4288. That's Bomb4288. I've been doing some retweeting and talking about the Titans draft and whatnot, which I think came out pretty good towards the end. You know, we'll see how things go. We'll see. It's a slow burn, as Michael Brown to you. That's that most of the time. But do follow us on all our accounts right there. Do follow iSource Radio on all your social media feeds. X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Try to get those numbers up. Once we go live Sunday, the main broadcast day, we get that notification and all that good jazz. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, next week, more playoff talk. We'll see what happens with Steve Kerr and that news. We'll try to talk about that and see what the Golden State Warriors future is. All that good stuff. So, until then, ladies and gentlemen, we're out. Be safe out there. I'll see you later. Peace.